Welcome and thank you very much. I'm not sure if I was a boxer coming to a fight or I'd won an award or something then. Hello, conference. My name's Nick Buckley and I stood for Mayor of Greater Manchester earlier this year. Allow me to welcome you to my city. This is where I was born, this is where I was raised, and this is where I still live. It took me 3 minutes to walk here today. For this is my city. Manchester was the world's first industrial city. What we did here changed the world. We modernised industry. You can say we reformed industry. We built canals, which were the superhighways of the age. We harnessed the power of the steam engine to drive pistons and cranks. We mechanised the modern world. But this was just one step of a journey of 100 years that led to the society we've got today. Today would seem like utopia to the people who worked 100 years ago. But we should never rest on our laurels, for there is more to do. We can make improvements. That's also true for me and you. We can be better than we are today. 2 minutes away that way is Petersfield, the infamous site of the 1819 Peterloo Massacre, where armed cavalry soldiers charged unarmed crowd of 60,000 people who had gathered to protest and demand parliamentary reform. 18 people died. An unborn baby died. People wanted the working class MPs to be able to abolish the Corn Laws. Laws which stop the importation of cheap wheat to make cheap bread, because the landowners didn't want it. A few minutes walk this way is the Manchester Mechanic Institute. This is where the Trade Union Congress held its first meeting. The TUC took the leading role in fighting to reform working conditions, fair pay, employment rights. It's a shame modern unions today are now just self-serving and do not put the rights of average workers first. A few miles down the road is Rochdale, home to the Rochdale pioneers. They founded the modern cooperative movement in 1844 to reform access to good quality food, and the profits ploughed back into the community. Another town down the road is Wigan. If you want to understand what reform can do, then read George Orwell's A Road to Wigan Pier. His personal journey through the industrial towns of the north, a real eye-opener. He explored poverty within the working class communities of the 1930s. My community, my life, if I'd have been born 40 years earlier. Scary. This is why we're all in this room today, to make life better for the people who are going to come after us. Not necessarily our lives today. We benefited from the trials and tribulations our forebears overcame, and we must pay this debt forward to the next generation by reforming what we have today so the world tomorrow is better. I've been a reformer for 2 decades now. I set up a charity to make a difference in our country, in my city. I wanted to make sure kids had the help and advice to be successful in this great country of ours. I've helped tens of thousands of kids over the last 2 decades. I've stopped the rape and abuse of over a dozen children. I've had offenders prosecuted. I've also helped over 100 rough sleepers off the streets of this city centre that you've walked around today. When it comes to reforming our social and community services, I've seen firsthand what needs to be done. I've seen where the failings are. I've seen the system that says, the computer says no, and there's nothing we can do. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. To move a mountain, you must first move a stone. If it was easy, it would already be done. We've heard all these sayings. They're timeless, for we know they are true. We're a new party, less than a year old, but we are on a journey to remove a mountain of bureaucracy. This is the first step in this aim is today. We know it will not be easy, but it has to be done nevertheless. Success has to have a beginning, and let that beginning be here today. Let us be the change that is needed, not by revolution, not by direct action, for we are not communists, we're not eco-terrorists, but by speaking to the people of this great nation and convincing them that a better tomorrow exists, that it is within their grasp, and only they have the power to bring about reform. They may feel powerless, but it only seems that way. The next election will be upon us in no time. Labour are completely lost and cannot hold the government to account. It is down to us to ensure the people have a real choice at the next election. It cannot be vote Tory or get the Labour lunatics. That's no choice at all. It must be our freedom, our future. It must be vote for the country you want to see. Otherwise, we're not a free nation, but a scared nation. And there's no future in being a scared nation. It is our job to inspire the people so they want to vote. In my recent election, 70% of registered voters didn't even cast their ballot. We need to paint them a picture of a way of life they can only dream about. A life where the NHS works, where our education system does not fail 1 in 5 pupils, where the police are non-political and actually fight crime, where we do not allow the mentally ill to live and die on the streets, a place where we train British people for the jobs and opportunities available, a society that constantly gives people a hand up and never stops giving you a hand up, but reduces the amount of handouts, because handouts don't work. Handouts is not the way to live your life. It's a type of slavery to the state. How do we judge our success? I judge it on the quality of the people, of the party members I've met over the last year. I judge it on the quality of people in this room today. And using this criteria, we are already successful. Thank you very much and enjoy your conference.